Good morning, Sparkplugs. My name is Rachel Matthews, and I would like to welcome our guest this morning. Representing the United States Air Force, please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Christy Moore and Sergeant Daniel Hopper. Driving the United States Air Force number 17 Honda Delara, please welcome Connor Daly. Also with us this morning is Tom Burns, Team Manager Butch Winkle, and Managing Director of Tom Burns Racing, Jeff Matthews. Now, at this time, will you please rise as the Speedway 500 Regiment performs the national anthem. Lieutenant Colonel Christy Moore, our first speaker this morning, is the highly decorated commander of the 338th Recruiting Squadron, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio. As commander, she controls the recruiting activities of a 67,000 square mile area spanning across Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Illinois. Its mission is to inspire, engage, and recruit future airmen to deliver air power for America. She has served in numerous positions at home and abroad, including in the Republic of Korea. She has 25 combined hours in the F-15D and F-16D fighter jets as a flight test analyst. In addition to all of this, she has earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in mathematics, a Master of Science degree in Information Systems Management, and a Master of Science degree in Operations Research. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Lieutenant Colonel Christy L. Moore.
Good morning. As she mentioned, I am Lieutenant Colonel Christy Moore, and happen to be lucky enough to be the squadron commander for the 338th Recruiting Squadron. We are headquartered at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, so a couple hours from here. But I am not here today, even though I run the recruiting squadron. I'm not here to recruit, and I am not here to sell the Air Force. Actually, I'm going to let Hop over here take care of that for me. My point in being here, why I've been asked to be here, is to kind of walk you through my personal journey over the last 16 years that I've had the honor to serve in the world's greatest Air Force as a tie-in to leadership, teamwork, and the vision that the Air Force has had with their partnership with Tom Burns and Connor Daly, and in joining in the festivities with the Indy 500 and that ridiculously awesome-looking car sitting over there. So. I'll go ahead and kind of kick it off. There are three things that I wanted to talk about with you guys today: opportunity, courage, and teamwork, or people. Like I said, I've been in 16 years. I grew up an Air Force brat. My dad was Air Force, and because of that, I always said I wasn't going to join the military. I had the scores to do it. When I took the ASVAB, the Navy recruiter would not stop calling me. It took me eventually yelling at him on the phone, "Leave me alone, I'm not joining the military." I wanted to play basketball in college, and I did. I was a Division I basketball player. I know I don't look like it. Point guard, we're short. But actually I make a joke, and I'll make it later, about flying and losing height. But I was a point guard in college. I played basketball, and that was what I wanted to do. That was my dream. And so that was what I got to do, and I said the military wasn't going to have anything to do with it. And then I got through college, and it got to be that question, which I think a lot of you seniors in the room might be asking, is what now? I've achieved these goals. You guys are going to be graduating soon. I graduated. What am I going to do? And so the world kind of flipped on its head right around 2001. I'm sure y'all with the history, you know kind of what went on there. And it changed my perspective. And so I made the decision to go see a recruiter. And that was in, well, just after September 2001. By May of 2002, I was going through officer training school in Montgomery, Alabama, joining what is truly the world's greatest Air Force. While I do have hours in a jet, I'm not a pilot. Not everybody in the Air Force flies. There are actually many, many jobs, what, 140? Is that right? 140 some odd jobs in the Air Force that actually keep the Air Force running. So it kind of leads me to my first topic, which is opportunity. When I joined, I really wasn't sure what I was getting into. I came in with a math degree. I was a nerd, absolute nerd in high school. I was also an athlete, which is a weird combination, but I studied math, computers. I mean, I've always been really good with it, and so I came in as what the Air Force considers a scientist, which is kind of weird because we don't really have scientists like you guys would think, but I'm a scientist. So I came in, and I'm trying to figure out what I was going to do. Well, I started with seizing the opportunities that I could find, and this is kind of where I'm leading with this. The first job I had, I worked with folks who are called combat controllers, and these are the folks who, when they're in the Middle East and they're calling in airstrikes, these are the guys that are on the ground doing it. A lot of them will work with the Army on the ground, and they're bringing the planes in and they're providing that support. And I worked on hearing protection for them, which you guys would think, well, hearing protection, what? It's really important. You guys have any idea how loud that would be? Think about it over, you got the racetrack here across the road. Think about how loud that is, how important hearing protection is. Hearing loss in the Air Force is a huge deal. So I actually got to be part of improving hearing protection for these guys. First opportunity, really cool. The next opportunity that jumped up to me that is totally unheard of is I went to Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas, Nevada, at a fighter squadron. And in that squadron, they flew F-15s, F-16s, F-22s, and A-10s. The only aircraft that have back seats are the F-15s and the F-16s. And so they said, hey, would you like to fly in the back seat of these fighter aircraft and, and run our tests for us? Well, I'm a nerd. Of course I want to jump in the back of an airplane and fly faster than the speed of sound. So I did, and I can tell you, I know what it's like to fly faster than Mach 1. I know what it's like to go faster than the speed of sound. Now, to be honest, sitting in an airplane, you really don't notice. There's really not big of a difference. But if you're outside the plane, it's a heck of a difference. So, but I tell you, I learned that, and that's seizing opportunity. From there, I got another awesome opportunity. I got an email that said, hey, we need somebody to come work on projects for communication systems for Tier 1 assets. Does anybody in here know what a military Tier 1 asset is? Anybody here, the Navy SEALs? Yeah, Army Delta? Yeah, those are Tier 1s. Those are your, I can't say the word in here. These are your awesome guys. We're going to call them that. These guys are awesome, right? Yeah, so as the math nerd that I am, I get to go sit and work on communication systems with these guys. So I got to travel around the Middle East. I got to hang out with them in their compounds and help improve and enhance their abilities to communicate with each other and exploit the enemy's communication. Very, very cool opportunity. Something not everybody got to do. I saw it, I jumped on it. It was awesome. From there, the Air Force said, hey, do you want to go get an education at the Air Force Institute of Technology, one of the best graduate engineering schools in the country? We'll pay for it. All you have to do is go to school. Guess what? I have a master's from AFIT because I took that opportunity and I went. I don't owe any money for it. I just got to go do it, and I have a phenomenal education in operations research, or otherwise known as industrial engineering, because of that opportunity. After that, they presented me an opportunity to train folks who were going over into the Middle East to do operational analysis, which is essentially taking what's going on in the battlefield and putting it into numbers to give the leaders that ability to make decisions better. And so I got to do that, and so I spent more time over in the Middle East getting to do that. Phenomenal opportunities. From there I went to Korea. I actually just this last June came back from South Korea. Korea in the news lately, pretty big deal going on. I was over there when it was a little more tense than it is right now. There's, a little bit stress going on there. Not sure what's going to happen with the North Korea, South Korea thing. Pretty happy to see things are moving in the direction they were going, but I got to see that firsthand. I actually worked directly for the 3-star general, and I prepared his speeches. I worked on his briefings. I was right in the middle of those big strategic conversations. Why? Because an opportunity presented itself and I jumped on it. And then that leads me to where I am now, that opportunity. I submitted my name because I wanted to see if I had what it takes to lead as a commander, as a squadron commander. And I happened to get a recruiting squadron, which was the #1 recruiting squadron in all of the Air Force last year. Not anything by me, but by these guys right here. And it was a pretty phenomenal accomplishment. But again, it comes back to that opportunity, which kind of leads me into my next point, which is courage. It takes guts to follow your dreams. It takes guts to step out of your comfort zone and try something new. I have to tell you, think about riding in the Indy car. I was looking it up this morning. The record right now is 241 miles per hour in an Indy car. Think about driving that fast in your car. Do we have drivers in here? You guys driving? Right? Yeah, a little scary sometimes, right? Even doing 60 miles an hour. Imagine doing 240. One mistake and you're done, right? That's catastrophic. It's the same thing in the fighter aircraft. An F-15 flies over Mach 2. This is about 1,650 miles an hour. Now, it's in the air, so we don't have the ground issues, but again, one mistake, catastrophic. And you're talking millions of dollars in equipment, not to mention the lives that are at stake on this. It takes courage to get in that aircraft and fly. But it's not just the pilots who have to show up. It's all the folks that make that happen. It takes courage for you guys as you walk into this adult world, those of you that are graduating, those that are following next year and the year after. It takes courage to take that step forward and start making a life for yourself. My boyfriend's son graduates from high school this year. He graduates in 20 days. And I see in him a major fear of being away from his parents, of being away from his home and what he's familiar with. And trying to help him out, really has given me the opportunity to kind of relate to what you guys are dealing with as you have that fear of stepping out into the unknown. It takes courage. Which leads me to my last point, which is teamwork and people. Nobody accomplishes anything of any worth alone. You guys have had teachers, guidance counselors, your principals, your parents, your friends. You have people in your life that have helped you get to where you are and will continue as you go on. It's no different with the IndyCar racing, with the pit crews. Connor doesn't do it by himself. He's going to have a whole team behind him to do it. He has to, or it will not succeed. It will not happen. It's the same way in the Air Force. We have, like I mentioned, 140 jobs, and every one of those jobs is important to keep the Air Force running. We could not be the world's greatest Air Force, and I kid you not, we are the world's premier Air Force. We could not do it without the people that make up our Air Force. And so that's why Hop's job is so important, and that's why I am so humbled and honored to get to command the recruiting squadron, because it's our job to bring in that next generation of air power. It's our job to choose the best and the brightest to become members of the Air Force. It's really staggering how low the percentage of folks who both qualify and have a desire to serve. So it's not for everybody, but the ones that it's for, they're pretty darn awesome. And so, we're pretty excited to get to play a part in that and have a say-so. And that's really what my job is I have a direct say-so on who gets to join. And so as far as opportunities go and the people, it's a pretty phenomenal thing. I couldn't be where I am without the people that have helped get me here. My parents, my teachers, my coaches, playing basketball, all the way up through college. I learned a ton from being a leader and being a follower as we came through it. I had the courage to continue to grab those opportunities, the courage to take that next step forward. And as I wrap this up, I want to encourage you all, take those opportunities. Not everybody gets them. When you see them, grab them. You won't regret it. Have the courage to take that step. Have the courage to fail, because you're going to, and that is okay. Because when you fail, you learn and you grow, and that's how you get better. And remember all the folks that are around you and that help support you and that get you where you're going. And remember to be what we call wingmen. Be a wingman for those around you. And to kind of wrap things up, what I want to finish up here is have a purpose. A purpose comes from being a part of something greater than yourself, from being a part of and serving something greater than yourself. If you do this, you search for that purpose, an honorable purpose. When you look back at the end of your days, you will look back on a life well lived and a successful life. Thank you, and go Plugs.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Christy Moore. Hello, my name is Zakiah Jenkins. Our next speaker is Master Sergeant Daniel Hopper. Master Sergeant Hopper is an enlisted accessions flight chief in Lafayette, Indiana for the 338th Recruiting Squadron, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. Sergeant Hopper graduated from Lawrence Central High School in 1996 and entered the United States Air Force in October, completing basic military and technical training. He is responsible for recruiting, processing, and enlistment of young men and women into the United States Air Force. Sergeant Hopper meets all assigned recruiting goals through effectively leading, training, and motivating 6 Air Force recruiters and 1 civilian supporting an 11,000 square mile zone. In addition, Sergeant Hopper works directly with businesses, schools, and community leaders in daily support of publicity and community relations programs. Sergeant Hopper entered the United States Air Force in October 1996. In 1997, Sergeant Hopper was there assigned to the 43rd Airlift Group, 43rd Logistics Readiness Squadron Aircraft Parts Store. There, he supported the flying missions of A-10 Warthog and C-130 Hercules squadrons. In January of 2000, Sergeant Hopper received an assignment to Osan Air Force Base, Korea, supporting the mission of the 51st Fighter Wing. Sergeant Hopper's responsibilities supported round-the-clock flying mission, ensuring the security and sovereignty for the Republic of South Korea. Sergeant Hopper's follow-on assignment was to Eglin Air Force Base, Florida, assigned to the 96th Air Base Wing. During his time in Eglin Air Force Base, his realm of responsibility supported the 46th Test Wing operations of testing munitions and advanced avionics systems on next-generation fighter jets. In 2004, he tasked to deploy to Southwest Asia in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom in Iraq. During his time supporting Operation Iraqi Freedom, Sergeant Hopper was responsible for all logistical requirements supporting the local men and women of U.S. and NATO armed forces. In February of 2005, he transferred to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio, AFOSI Detachment 101. A large 58-person specialty unit responsible for providing felony-level criminal investigative and counterintelligence support to 20 United States Air Force, Air National Guard, and Air Force Reserve bases across 6 Midwest states. During this time, he also managed 10 supply accounts worth over $750,000 with 100% mission equipment accountability. In 2008, he received a joint expeditionary tasking to support the United States Army Operation Iraqi Freedom. Upon returning from his deployment in 2009, Sergeant Hopper cross-trained into recruiting service, where he continues to serve as an enlisted accessions flight chief. Master Sergeant Hopper has earned associate degrees in business administration, management logistics, and human resource management. It is my honor to welcome Master Sergeant Daniel S. Hopper.
Thank you. Good morning. How's everyone doing? So we have a couple, well, you've heard a lot about opportunity, and I hope by listening to my bio, you know, I don't pass up opportunities. I take advantage of them. There's a few sayings that we have in the Air Force and Air Force recruiting, but before I get to that, I want to ask a question. What does Tom Burns Racing and Connor Daly in the United States Air Force have in common? We all have a need for speed, right? Right? Ah, yeah, it's good. I thought about that on the way down here from Lafayette. Hopefully we can get to 17 in the winning circle this year. But So you heard a lot about opportunity and taking advantage of opportunity. And had I not done that back in, when I was sitting in the seat just like you guys are trying to figure out life, I wouldn't be here right now. I grew up on the east side of Indianapolis, went to Lawrence Central High School, and back in the day when Desert Storm kicked off, Fort Benjamin Harrison was a huge Army base, and I got a lot of inspiration from that. And matter of fact, I enlisted originally to join the Army because I remember sending those guys off to Desert Storm when Iraq invaded Kuwait, and I thought, man, that's something I could see myself doing. And I'm named after my grandfather, too. He's a World War II veteran. And I wanted to carry that name and his legacy on as well and build my own legacy. And I've done that for almost 22 years now. The commander, Colonel Moore, talked about, yeah, we have 140 different career fields in the Air Force, and each one of you can easily fit in one of those. The first saying that we have in the Air Force, and our commander, Major General Harensack, probably trademarked it, is we build bridges, not barriers, right? You look at those 140 different career fields, look at it as a bridge, right? And that bridge leads to success, one way or another. If you can think it, you can do it. And that's the God honest truth. When I came into the Air Force, obviously a high school diploma, no experience in the workforce, and I look back on my 21 plus years of all the experience of traveling the world. I mean, it's something that, not everybody gets to have that opportunity. Like the commander mentioned, less than 1% of our nation's population serves in the United States military to begin with. That's a small, staggering number, and when you think about the individuals that serve in the Air Force, we're a smaller percent of that. So am I special? I'm more humbled. Some people may think I'm special. But that's all right, right? If it works for me, it can work for you and anybody else that is even considering it. The second, one of the other sayings we have in recruiting, and I hold it special to my heart because I had an awesome recruiter that cared about me, right? And that's inspire, engage, recruit future airmen to deliver air power for America. Our most valuable resource, like the commander said, is our people. Not the aircraft, not any technical system. It's the people that manage it and make the mission happen. Without them, it doesn't happen. Without them, we don't avert our adversaries from doing bad things to our country. We are the most powerful Air Force in the world because of the people, because of you. If you decide that, if you're thinking that you can't do it, you can. If somebody's telling you can't do it, you probably need to find someone else to talk to. And then as I look at the car, not to segue away from what I'm saying, but if I look at the nose of this car, it reminds me of an F-16. I flew in an F-16 twice. It was an awesome opportunity. The need for speed, the partnership with Tom Burns Racing and the Air Force, to me, has been a long time coming and somewhat like a dream come true because I grew up going to the Air Force, or going to the race many years, and it just made sense. So after capping off my career of 22 years and being partnered with Tom Burns Racing and having an Air Force car in the race, that means a lot to me. So I hope to see you guys in the winner's circle. Very excited. And the last thing, for the Air Force specifically, our last saying, is aim high, fly, fight, and win, right? Because we don't lose. We don't believe in it, and we expect nothing but we expect nothing but that. We win in everything we do. You guys have that potential. If you don't, you do. Don't second guess yourself. Seek out opportunity, as you heard about opportunity. Don't pass up on an opportunity. If you can think it, you can do it, and I'm here to help you in any way that I possibly can. Thank you for letting me share this day with me. This is probably one of the hallmark of my career, and I just want to say thanks for having us out, and God bless.
Thank you, Master Sergeant Daniel Hopper. My name is Clayton Allen. Our next guest speaker is Connor Daly, an IndyCar driver for the United States Air Force number 17 Honda Dallara car. Connor Daly was born in Noblesville, Indiana. He grew up in a racing family and started to pursue it himself at the age of 10 in a go-kart at Whiteland Raceway Park in Whiteland, Indiana. By age 15, he had progressed from go-karts to cars, winning the Skip Barber National Championship in his rookie year. After continuing to progress through the Mazda road to Indy by winning the Pro Mazda Championship in 2010, Connor moved to Europe full-time to pursue Formula One. By 2012, Connor signed a contract with the Sahara Force India Formula One team to be a simulator and test driver. Through the next few years in Europe, he won multiple races and scored over 10 podiums in GP3 series supporting Formula One. By 2015, Connor had moved back to America to pursue the goal of becoming a full-time IndyCar driver. At age 26, after 2 seasons with Dale Coyne Racing and AJ Foyt Racing, Connor will attempt to qualify for his 5th Indy 500 this May for Tom Burns Racing and Dale Coyne Racing. That is all.
Guys, how's it going? The weekend is hours away. Don't worry, we're almost there. I appreciate that nice little bio. As you've heard, I'm an Indiana guy, born in Noblesville. I went to Heritage Christian, graduated there in 2010, and decided to be a racing driver when I was 10 years old early on, but it didn't get really serious until I was about 15 or 16, because then I got an actual license, and I started driving cars on the road as well, which you should not drive fast. Don't do that. Obey the laws, because it costs money, trust me. But from there on, I've been lucky enough to to do 4 Indy 500s so far. I've had a pretty awesome career. Been very lucky to take advantage of opportunities that they were talking about. I've had a lot of really incredible opportunities to drive race cars all over the world. The Middle East, Asia, Europe, Africa, even India, all kinds of places, which has been really cool. And we're really excited about this effort. This is really cool. I mean, I'm a super American dude. I think I don't know if some of you might know me and maybe Pat McAfee. I don't know. He seems like a good guy. We have a lot of fun together. But he's also excited about this. We're all pumped about this. It's a great team effort. The U.S. Air Force involved. Couldn't be more honored to represent these colors, and I'm very excited to. I feel good about this year. This is finally a really good position that we've been in. We've had a rough couple years, the last 2 years in the 500, but this one, I feel like the preparation is at a very high level. Everything is finally sort of setting into place now, and we're going to be on track May 15th. So obviously you guys are not too far from where we're going to be doing our business over the next few weeks. And we hope to see you guys out there. It's going to be an incredible month again. Obviously, everyone knows about the Indy 500. I love it. I guess I can't say we all love it, but I'm pretty sure the majority of us have enjoyed it a little bit. But yeah, they're going to have an incredible setup out there in the fan zone. There's going to be a lot of really cool U.S. Air Force stuff that we're going to be able to, show you guys and get everyone involved in, which is really cool. I can't wait for that myself. I get to fly in a jet next week, which is going to be awesome. I hope I don't throw up. But if I do, it's going to be on the internet, I'm sure. So don't worry. But yeah, I'm very excited about this whole deal. Thank you guys for having us, for sure. It's an incredible, deal to be here, just right across the street from the track. To be able to at least show our car off, deliver our message, and sort of build a little fan base, a little excitement for our entry here for the Indy 500. So I can't wait to drive it. It's going to look incredible. It's going to go really fast, and hopefully, as they said, they only win, so I have to win. So there you go. That's what we're going to do. So we'll see. Yeah, first or last, exactly. All right. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
I want to give another special thank you to the United States Air Force, the 2 speakers, and all those that serve our country in the armed forces. If we could give them another round of applause, please. Also want to give special thanks to Connor Daly for taking time out of his busy schedule to spend with us. We do have our own go-kart here, so if you're ever looking for to return to go-kart and need a car to drive, we could probably hook you up with one. Also want to give a special thanks to Tom Burns Racing. Mr. Tom Burns is here with us today. Thank you very much. If we can give him a round of applause, please. And then I also want to give a special thank you to our Speedway Town Council President, Mr. Jeff Matthews, for spearheading this event and making it happen. If we can give him a round of applause, please. That does conclude our program for today. Students, you are dismissed back to second period. Thank you.